Y'all boys doing, man? Welcome back to another video. Today we finna be reacting to motherfucking Mike Tyson and how the fuck I guess he beat this nigga ass so bad, but yeah, I probably did though.
To win your fights, but also to entertain.
Absolutely. Any fighter in general, I think their main objective is to make the audience go home and let them know they had witnessed something that was incredibly special.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
On today's video, we look back at the night a prime-ready Iron Mike took on the son of a heavyweight boxing legend.
With my pop in my corner, I don't see any way that I can lose.
Something about this occasion made Tyson extremely enraged, exasperated, and eager to close the show as quickly as possible. Let's take a look.
Damn. You give this ass in 30 seconds.
By the fall of '86, the Tyson hype train was back to full throttle after his impeccable one-round annihilation job over fellow contender Reggie Gross.
It's very difficult with a kid who throws hydrogen bombs.
The ball spot in this nigga head, that shit is beyond me. That's harder than any punch I ever seen, nigga. And you trying to keep that shit. You balding right here, and you balding right there, and the ball right there. Cut that shit off. Stop trying to hold on to that shit.
To get him experience.
To this point, Team Tyson was still matching their prodigy relatively lightly, despite every boxing fan, including Mike himself, convinced he had the tools to mix it up with the current champions in the heavyweight division.
I'm starting to think that you're unstoppable. Do you feel that you're the best heavyweight in the world, that you can step in with anybody right now?
I feel I am the best fighter in the world right now.
Yes, I was too.
Watching a fighter as brilliant as Mike Tyson being steered away from the title shot was frustrating for the boxing community. Yet, in retrospect, his managers, Jim Jacobs and Bill Caton, were not only aiding Mike in building an impressive unbeaten record, they were, more importantly, ensuring the development of a raw young talent that, once he secured his title shot, was the complete finished article.
I'm the leader. I look everything over carefully. And then I send him in to do his job.
The former Hall of Fame legendary heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, who famously beat the previously unbeaten Muhammad Ali in 1971's Fight of the Century, took an entirely against-the-grain approach as to how a fighter should be developed during his managerial years post-retirement.
I'm not in charge, you know. If they say fight King Kong, I'm ready. All I have to do is get my body in condition and my mind and spirit, and I'm ready.
Smokin' Joe had the attitude, if you're going to be a journeyman boxer, there's no point in beating around the bush. As the fighters he trained, such as James Schuler, Burt Cooper, and son Marvis, quickly found out once they were under his tutelage.
If I couldn't train these boys or I couldn't live with these boys, I'd be the first guy to get the hell out the way.
Marvis embraced his father's philosophy, where after a very brief amateur career, he began fighting legitimate top contenders inside his first 10 fights as a pro.
Sasky as he backs him into the ropes above us. Two lefts and a right hand, all by Marvis Frazier, all score.
Marvis beat Steve Zuski, James Broad, and Joe Buckner in his first few fights. In doing so, he never looked like a world beater, more so a man determined to at least fill a sliver of his father's boots. Joe pushed his son to the complete deep end in 1983, having Marvis face off with the #1 heavyweight in the world, Larry Holmes, who at the time had a record of 44-0.
44-0
As many experts predicted, the fight was a complete mismatch, and Larry made sure every spectator at ringside, including Marvis's father, knew about it.
And with the 20 little guys,
Joe never lost faith in his son, though, pushing him even harder in the direct aftermath, where Marvis regained momentum with impressive wins over Quick Tillis and Bone Crusher Smith. Whether the Fraziers genuinely felt they were ready for Tyson or not, Marvis's ranking among the sanctioning bodies put him in the direct firing line of the most devastating contender in world boxing.
Entering the ring, the favorite, trains and lives in Catskill, New York.
That nigga is 24-0.
As the warrior.
2 wins.
Tyson met Frazier at the Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York in July 1986. Tyson paced up and down the ring.
All of his wins was fucking knockouts.
Eager to one up what Holmes did a couple
Yo, amateur ass trying to get the ring.
He later admitted that he was scared, but wanted to project his fear onto Marvis, who, by the looks of things, had the exact same idea.
3 judges. The referee does not score, scoring on the round system. Supplemental 4-point scoring
His
system.
ass trying to come out swinging. His ass hopping and shit. Knock that nigga.
Rule is in effect.
All you gotta do is got his ass up. He's going like this. His ass back to this. So I might take damn. But look at that nigga. Look how that nigga folded. Look how that nigga folded. That nigga taking a seat, boy. He said counting. What the fuck you counting for, right? You know that nigga got
And he's going to stop the fight.
Frazier became Tyson's fastest ever victim, out on his feet, absorbing devastating power punches that left him slumped in the corner inside 30 seconds.
Marvis is badly hurt at this point. Uppercut again. There, Marvis is out on his feet. Everything after this is just incidental.
It took a while for Tyson to calm down, pumped up after his, on paper, best win to date. But once he did, he sent a chilling message to the current champions.
And I came out and I was confident. I knew the fight. I felt the deep heart. I was going to stop him in the first round.
In your mind, if your managers Jim Jacobs and Bill Cate and your trainer Kevin Rooney came to you and said, Mike, we think you're ready for a title shot tomorrow. Would you agree with them at this point?
Most definitely. Anytime if my manager and my trainer feel that I'm confident and they're willing to put me in a title and they're sure I could beat the champion, I'm sure I could beat them also.
Of the 3 champions, who would you like to fight and why?
Anybody my trainer put me in with, because I'm confident I could beat any fighter in the world.
With only 21 fights to his name, Marvis Frazier hung up the gloves for good, proud
about
of what he
time,
achieved in such a short amount of time. I personally never blame Joe for
that
Marvis's
long to hang that shit up, man.
On paper, it looks naive, but the truth is he had unconditional love for his son, and I think both were just living a bit of a delusion regarding his potential. Marvis has kept a low profile since retirement, but in this interview from a few years ago, he admits that trying to follow in his father's footsteps was always going to be a near impossible task.
I feel to stand in the shadow of Joe Frazier. And to me, I always thought I was standing in the light because it's a great legacy, you know.
This shit like these. God damn. That shit ain't never here, my boy. Look, man, this shit fucking up. So we're gonna start this shit right here. But boy, don't you get your ass back in that ring, boy, cause you see what happened. This is for you niggas out here that want to box too. That shit ain't sweet, you feel me? Make sure you is prepared before you step foot in that bitch. You gonna be looking like his ass. Like, comment, and subscribe.